Welcome back to An Hour to Give. I am so excited to welcome not only a dear friend of mine, but the founder and the CEO of Voice Found, and that is the one and only Cynthia Bland. How are you?
I'm great.
We've been leading up to you this whole show.
I'm feeling like some sort of a superstar.
You are a superstar, absolute superstar. Order of Ottawa recipient. You've got lots of.
You too this year.
We're focused on you, my friend.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Voice Found. I was just reflecting on when you and I met. Remember the restaurant we sat in? I remember the booth we sat in.
Yes.
And you said, "I have this goal," and I remember thinking that's a very big goal, but you did it. And you said to me, you said, "Sam, I want it to be called Voice Found." I never asked you why. Why Voice Found?
Well, Voice Found really summarizes how I felt at the time that I disclosed a secret that I'd been holding on to for 42 years. Wow. And that is that I was sexually abused as a young child, starting at the age of 5. And also commercially sexually exploited. And I never told anybody. And that's really, really sadly common. A lot of people hold on to these secrets. And when I finally did disclose to somebody and I started to understand what had happened to me, the consequences of having been abused as a child and not saying anything, it was like I found my voice now. I found my voice. I can start naming and understanding the things that have been, kind of going on in my life. For example, I was a drug addict. I had experienced and still do a number of mental health challenges. I dropped out of school. I never finished school. And those things, to me, all looked like my life was some kind of a made-for-TV cheesy movie. But then all of a sudden, when I disclosed what had happened and I was in a situation with somebody who understood what childhood sexual abuse was all about, it was like all of those pieces came together. And okay, now I understand what it is, and now I have voice for it. I can name it, and that really helped me so much. And so that's why I call it Voice Found.
But it could have stopped there. Like you could have basically said, you know what, I found my voice, and I'm going to heal, and I'm going to go on this journey. But you decided, I want to take this and help other people. How did all of that happen? Because that's a very different conversation.
Yeah. Well, when I did disclose, and it was a really tumultuous year. I'll never forget. It was like the tsunami of everything that happened. And disclosure is ugly. Healing is ugly. It's scary. There's a lot of things that go on. And I was, at the time, I had a corporate job, and I remember feeling like nobody understands. I didn't know where to go for help. And for many years that sat with me, like where to go for help. No one's there. Like, oh, if I had a lot of money, I could find a therapist. I didn't have a lot of money. I couldn't afford a therapist, and I wouldn't even know what kind of therapist to look for. So it was in the back of my mind for so long. If I'm feeling like this, then I am sure there are other people feeling like this. And I really just had to do something about it. And it was important to me that what I do be barrier-free. I want it to be available to everyone, no matter what, gender, no matter what age, although, we don't work with children. There are good professionals that work with children, but I don't want people to have to worry about the cost of therapy. I don't want, there's something I always keep in mind, and that is, typically healing seems to be for the privileged, and it shouldn't be like that. Everybody deserves to heal. Everybody deserves that space. Everybody deserves that care. And when we look at, the issues that we have, not just in Ottawa, but everywhere, with homelessness and with addiction and with mental health concerns, those are a result of trauma. And so we need to look at that, and we need to look at, you know, how we can deal with the trauma.
And you've surrounded yourself, obviously you have lived experience like you've just shared, which thank you for sharing that. And you've surrounded yourself with many others that have lived experience. Why is that so key?
Well, as you've heard from our other guests, and I have the most incredible team. There is not a person at Voice Found who does not give 200% of themselves to their clients. But now I've lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
So because
Lived
that
experience.
was really,
Yeah.
lived experience. So we have people that do their work as professionals with lived experience. Some disclose it and some don't. That's their choice. But the reason that it's important is because they get it, you know, and it is that connection and that trust and that it's okay. You don't have to talk about all the nitty gritty. I get it. I know. Right? And so it allows for a conversation and a bit of a trust to be developed, I think, a little bit faster than it might be, than when you're sitting across, you know, a desk or a chair from a, you know, not to say anything bad about social workers and stuff, they're great people.
Right.
And we need all, you know, all people doing this work. But having a team, some of whom do their work as people with lived experience, has really made a difference. And not just in frontline support. We're really, really, I'm determined that we have people exploring all job opportunities, not just as peer supporters, not that like peer support is a huge and important thing, but when we're looking at development of programs, for example, when we're looking at, you know, projects, it is through that lens. They've been there, you know, people with lived experience understand what was missing. How can we put that, you know, program together? Or how should we structure that training? What are some of the words that need to be used that haven't been used, you know, properly before or whatever? So it is an important and integral part of the development of an organization like this. It's a great combination of people.
You've done a wonderful job. You've done a wonderful job. And I know that many of your donors, many people that have given, have also have lived experience. How important is it that you have donors that step up and help to fund this work?
Well, funding is always a challenge, and I think, you know, for an organization of our size, we don't have huge marketing dollars. It's a complex topic, so when people do get it and take the time to learn about what we do, and then they see the value of what, you know, and the remarkable changes in people's lives, that's when we see, okay, you know, that's when we acquire donors. And each one is so important to me because I remember for many years doing this work with, you know, next to nothing. But every single time that people would take that opportunity to learn and really see the impact that we have,
I often think about, you know, a charity as, are you saving lives and changing lives? And I think you're ticking both boxes, right?
Yes, absolutely. We are saving lives and we are absolutely changing lives. I have seen clients that, you know, I met for the first time, say 4 or 5 years ago, and they were in horrible states, you know, still in active addiction, significant physical, mental, you know, challenges, mental health challenges, physical challenges, and to watch their growth. And it goes like this. It's a bit of a roller coaster. Sometimes they leave for a while, but then they come back because They know that they can. They know that it's a safe space. And now to see people that are finally returning to university, going to university, getting a job that they've always wanted, but felt that they couldn't take that step. All of us working together as a team and surrounding that person with what they want and what they need at the moment that they need it makes all the difference.
I could listen to you all day.
Oh.
February 22nd. Why is that date so important to us?
February 22nd is National Human Trafficking Awareness Day in Canada. And I think awareness days are important, especially when you take action on awareness days.
True.
So, you know, not a lot of people, as Sarah said earlier on, not a lot of people really understand human trafficking. It's sensationalized often. But it is happening, and it's happening in our communities. So I think this day, raising awareness and then taking action, which we will be sharing a lot on social media, what actions you can take. One of them is learning about it, learning the signs, learning where you can go for help or how to help somebody else. Donations, of course, it takes a lot of energy and people and time and, yes, money to you know, save lives and change lives. So actions are important. We're also in the coming weeks, so keep an eye on our social. We will be delivering some presentations in the Ottawa community on human trafficking.
Really important.
Yeah, it is.
And how can somebody get involved? I mean, I think about all the ways, of course, that people could support you in terms of fundraising, you know, potential events, all of that. So give us inspire us to get involved.
Inspire. Well, volunteers at our organization, it's a little bit of a challenge because of the sensitivity, right, of the, you know, people that we're working with. However, I know that in Lucy's program, we do have volunteer facilitators of the 15-week formal program, and that's always great. But yes, I always tell people, if you want to help, the best support you can give to us is share the word about us. If you found or learned something about us, share. If you want to put on a fundraiser, that's great, because we don't have a whole lot of time to put those together ourselves. We will help you, absolutely. And by the way, my team has organized a fundraiser. Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Yes.
And we can find all that on the website?
On the website.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cynthia, what a pleasure, what an honor to spend time with you and to learn more about Voice Found, to meet some of your team members, to meet some people with lived experience, and they share their story. I'm so grateful for you and so grateful for everything you've done for this community. And I know in many ways you're just getting started. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Cynthia Bland joining us today from Voice Found. She is the CEO and she is the founder, and she is incredible. I know that you've learned lots about Voice Found today. I hope you visit them, visit the website, and get to know this organization, and maybe they can help you. I'm Sam Laprade. Thanks for watching An Hour to Give.